Well, dear one, we don't pick off from a group. We're not there to prey on existing groups and take its members. If they reject someone, it's probably because that someone is rejecting them. Or perhaps there's other reasons. But if they reject them, well, we're no threat to them. We are open to those that have ears to hear, and the reject of the world may hear us. They may not, in which case they will not come our way, not stay. So we are not a threat to existing groups. In fact, if anything, we're a blessing. We are opportunity for those that disagree with them to leave, in a sense. And they would have been no real foundation of help and blessing to them had they stayed with their group. The group would not have been advantaged by them. So, we don't act on groups. We don't threaten groups. We are who we are. We're not even an organisation or group. They come to us individually as we come to them, or are available individually. And, I do not speak for someone else that claims to be of my view. I speak for me. And really they should claim to speak for their view. Perhaps their view of me, which probably is nothing like as good as their view of their values as they understand it. For a person should value his values, and does, almost by definition. And though he may be forced to conform with something else by literal force or by pressure of group, society and culture, yet at his heart he can only truly worship what he values. So, I take it that this is the most beneficial for you to personify, see as a person the values that you have. Your God, your heavenly dad in Jesus' terminology, I think, namely the very essence of your foundation as you see it, your values. And in the worship of your God, your heavenly dad, I trust, and I think you may well trust, that he will guide you into a better understanding of him. And I trust that in some way this brings a harmony with you and others of like mind, perhaps not here in this world, and certainly not to form a group, but a harmony with those that you love and care for, and you bless. Do we bless others? Yes, we are always open to them. And do we seek those that are in desperate need? Well, we don't seek them out actually, no, but we are available to them, should they wish to come, and should our Heavenly Father have this happen. So yes, in Jesus' terms, we're neighbour to those in need, in great need. We'll come to them. But otherwise we basically leave the world alone. I pray not for the world, says Jesus, but for those whom thou hast given me, that they may be one as we are. And how is the we are? Well, it's in the Jesus story, it's that God is Heavenly Dad and loves us. I personally think this extends to all life, because he's the Lord, the giver of life, as I see it, and creator of all. So I suspect he creates because he values. And if he's all powerful and all loving, my goodness, he loves all the life. He's the Lord, the giver of life. So that sums up my view of God. And I find this an incredibly good foundation. I think consistent with the Jesus story, though Christianity has clearly been at least preoccupied with much else. The theology of Christianity and the church building that I see being basically a fool. I don't see Jesus in the story as setting up a church. He has followers, yes, well, they choose to follow, those that have ears to hear. But he doesn't seem to go much further than that. Does he give them a theology? Well, our life demonstrates what we believe, doesn't it? Except in as far as it's clouded and pressed upon and forced by others. And it can be much so, of course. I suspect and hope that we live in a society that gives us much freedom to at least privately have our own beliefs and have some freedom in what we might call self-determination, following our own values. And I gather we should. And think, as I say, that it's the only God you could love, really, is the personification of what you value. Almost by definition. Do I value more of the Jesus story? Yes, but I value much of Paul's writings. They will keep, various bits of Paul, and of the Old Testament, and even bits of heaven, as in the Revelation. I saw a new heaven and a new earth. Especially am I taken with, and there's no one that cuts down trees there. Because I see trees as life. I don't mean human life, but life. And I care for trees. I hate to see a tree cut down. I don't hate anything, but I don't want to see a tree cut down. I don't like to see an insect hurt. I don't like the notion of eating another creature's body. It's increasingly abhorrent to me. I'm not sure why, because after all I also think that we just inhabit the body, which is a collection of atoms that we've collected, of course, molecules and so on. And they're constantly changing anyway. And we're not taking it with us if we really are a spirit rather than body. But I still hate to see a tree cut down, just as I hate to see a person or a creature hurt. And perhaps you're the same. Perhaps not. Well, it's okay. You're here, given much freedom. God doesn't scream at you from the rafters when you make a mistake or do something wrong. Man may, and religion may, but God doesn't. Rarely does he have some apparition before him that tells him he's got to change his ways or else. It seems to happen to some people, but thank God it's never happened to me. So, I pursue loving God, yes. My God, oh yes. Personification of my values, and what are they? Oh, that he cares for life, all life, and especially us, especially me, and that I have been endowed with self-interest, and that's okay. That's to keep me in the game, else I would fritter away my life perhaps on some fancy and fad, instead of prioritizing survival. There may be exceptions to this where a person risks his life for others, and well, I can understand that. I'm not sure how much I'm up to such. And hope I'm not confronted with such problem. And if you are, well, whatever decision you make, I'm sure my God understands, because He loves us, and we are children. We are, well, not really expected to cope with such difficulties, I think. I think He understands when we make a mistake. It's in ignorance of what's truly for the best, because we're kids. But He loves us nonetheless, and does all for us accordingly, because of His goodness and grace and glory. He's chosen to treat us as children, if we follow, I think, the Jesus story understanding of things. And religion may not reflect this very much at all, but it might do. Don't know. In general, it doesn't, I think. Well, I've said far more elsewhere, and you could explore my YouTube recordings if you want to, but even one or two start to give you a pretty clear hologram picture of what I'm at and whether it's your sort of thing or not. If it is, you'll stay with it. If it isn't, well, thank goodness you'll look onto something that is nearer to your liking, nearer to your values, I hope. And that's the path that, from my point of view, I trust most earnestly. God is still unquestionably loving you and leading you to all goodness as He truly understands it. And I trust we will understand such. And in a sense, I trust that when we do trust Him to be something like our loving friend or Heavenly Dad or Divine Mother, then we come very close to being in the kingdom of heaven. As Jesus puts it, perhaps, that the kingdom of heaven is within us. And it's there to be reached easily, now. I think it's by loving God as our dearest one. Heavenly Father, perhaps dearest friend, Divine Mother, whatever, according to your values now. So live. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.